you to the Connect podcast, and thank you for joining me today. If you are watching the video, some of you are listening to audio, some of you are watching video. If you're watching video, you'll see that we're in kind of a different location than usual. Michael is on a work trip, and I just decided to tag along. So we're traveling today, and I'm excited that you are with me. So on the blog this week, you can find the blog at jenniferwspivey.org if you haven't read it, and you don't need to read it to be caught up on the podcast. But on the blog this week, I talked about investing in friendships and what a gift friends are to us from the Lord. Your faith is not supposed to be a solo journey. I just decided to talk about on the podcast, because I've been talking about transitions, I decided to follow up that same conversation on friends and really talk about how important friendship has been to me during this transition. And so at the same time that Michael stepped down from the church, I stepped down from some ministry teams that I was a part of, really just because I felt like they had come to a natural close, and I wanted to make space in my schedule and make space in my life to embrace this new adventure that Michael and I were on. And so I braced myself. I had worried a little bit, to be honest. I really had braced myself for certain relationships or some relationships to come to an organic close. I thought, you know what, people come and people go, seasons come, seasons go, friendships come, friendships go. And if there are going to be some friendships that are not going to translate into my next season, Lord, help me be gracious about that. And Lord, please heal my heart in advance. And I just pray that the Lord would protect me and protect my friends, and really help me continue to transition well, even in the relationships that I had. And so I will tell you, this is a huge praise report. Largely, the friendships that were in place before the transition are in place now. We have had to get more creative. And so we're not in church every Sunday together. We're not in the same small group, or we're not serving on the same ministry team. And so there used to be these natural times in our schedules where we were already together. So we used to be together every Sunday, or together every Wednesday in a small group, or we were together in a team meeting, serving at different events together. And so now, as I've kind of stepped back from those things, I've got some natural gaps in a few of my relationships, times when we used to be together and we're no longer together at those natural times. And so as I had invested in these friendships for years, my friends had also invested into me for these years. We just, it just seems for most of us, it's been seamless, that we've just decided we've got to be more creative. We've got to be more intentional. So I don't see you at these natural times. So let's make some new times to be together and continue this friendship, to continue this community. And it's been really exciting and healing, and such a blessing to see these friendships begin to transition into my new season. God is always doing a new thing. And so we've said this verse to each other many times over the last several weeks. Isaiah 43:9, behold, I will do a new thing. Even now it will spring forth. Shall you not know it? And so it's been a blessing to watch my friends embrace this new thing that's happening in my life, and just remembering back how we've continually supported each other. So this isn't the first transition that we've been through together. It's another in a series of transitions as the Lord is continuing and continually doing new things in us. And so anyway, it just turned out to be that my close friendships have been able to make this transition with me, and that's been really, really valuable. You know, I run into a lot of women, sadly, who feel like they're alone, pastors' wives who have a hard time making friends, ministry leaders who have a hard time making friends. You know, it's a trap of the enemy. The enemy of your soul wants you isolated. Do not fall for that. This was the first thing that God created that he said, this isn't good. So light was good. Creating the animals, separating the land from the water, everything in creation was good until we got to Adam, who was standing there alone. And God said in Genesis 2:18, I believe, it is not good for man to be alone. And even today in 2025, it's not good for man to be alone. And if we have to make investments, if we have to make an effort, it's worth it to make that effort to have some godly friendships to walk through these things with you. And so it's been a lot of fun seeing current friendships transition with me. And it's also been a lot of fun embracing new, forming new friendships in the new season that I'm in. And so even as Michael's on this work trip this week, I reached out in advance to several people in this town and said, hey, can we have lunch? Can we have coffee? And people have just been so gracious, really. So it's going to be a fun week around here. But it's been really healing for me to see these friendships continue. And so I just want to encourage you, if you have already made investments into godly friendships, continue. If you have not made investments into godly friendships, let's start and let's figure out why this is important, and then start making those inroads to being a good friend and having a good friend. You know, the proverb says, he who would have friends must show himself friendly. This is going to take an effort on both of our parts, but that effort is worth it. I always think to myself, help isn't less valuable if I have to ask for it. If something is hard, it doesn't mean that it's not valuable. Sometimes we do have to put an effort in. Do you ever think, this is a little bit of a rabbit trail, but I'm just going to go ahead while I'm thinking about it. Do you ever worry about your house? Maybe it's not clean enough, or what if somebody dropped in, or so I know people who hesitate to have people over, to invite people in because it might be a little messy. And I remember I used to be that person myself. And then I just started giving myself grace. I started thinking to myself, you know what? When someone invites me into their home, I have never once gone in with a white glove to run my finger along baseboards and windowsills to see if there's dust. I've never once walked into the kitchen to see if there were dirty dishes in the sink. I've never once checked a linen closet to make sure that their towels were clean and stocked. Never. I never thought about the condition of the house. I was just glad to be there with my friend. And so I thought, you know what? I'm just going to give myself that same grace. My friends are just glad to be here with me. And if there's a sink in the bowl, if there's a bowl in the sink, if there's a hamper of laundry next to the washer, we're just going to live and we're just going to be together. And I'm going to give myself the grace to invite someone else in and enjoy the benefit of friendship and just eliminate the worry that those roadblocks that I was putting up that prevented that. And so if you're one that has to have everything perfect, try to release that perfectionist bent, and you're going to be blessed. Give yourself grace, and it's a grace that you're already giving to others. Even asking for help or asking for prayer, I imagine that when someone calls you and says, hey, I need prayer in this area, you have never thought to yourself, geez, I had to pray for her last week. I mean, when does this end? Right? Or you have never thought to yourself, oh, such a burden. I mean, honestly, such a burden to pray for somebody again. Are you kidding me? No, you never thought that. But when we want to ask for help, when we want to ask for prayer, we think to ourselves first, I don't want to bother her with that. I'm just going to keep it to myself. I don't want to bother anybody with that. You know what? You're not a bother. And just the way that you feel when someone comes to you and says, hey, I need some FaceTime. Can we talk? Or, hey, I'm struggling right now. Can I get some counsel? Can I get some prayer? You're honored by that. Other people are honored by that as well. And so just give yourself grace. Give yourself the same grace that you give to other people in your life. And the result of that may be a godly friendships that you would be so grateful for. So I just want to highlight a few blessings from Scripture that we find when we invest in authentic Christian community. I think this is an opportunity for you to be encouraged in your faith. Hebrews 10:24-25 exhorts believers to spur one another on toward love and good deeds, encouraging one another, and all the more as you see the day approaching. Ministry can be lonely, life can be lonely, but a friend who reminds you of God's promises in your life, that's a treasure every time. A friend who will speak truth to you, sing your song back to you when you forget it. It's invaluable. And so you not only want to be that for someone else, you want someone else to be that for you. So give yourself grace and space to make that investment. Proverbs 27:17 says, as iron sharpens iron, so one person sharpens another. True friendship includes accountability. True friendship includes honesty. I have a dear friend that she's in my mind right now. She and I will go toe to toe. She'll say something and I'm like, I am not letting you get away with that. Are you kidding me? Or she'll see a behavior in my life and she'll call me out. Jennifer, what are you doing? You know better than this. And so, you know what? 4 seconds after we've sparred about something, not even 4 seconds, it didn't even take that long. It wasn't a break in the relationship. It wasn't a fight that we were having against each other. We were fighting for each other. She's my biggest fan and I'm hers. And so that accountability and that honesty that comes along with that friendship is invaluable to me. Ecclesiastes 4:9-10 says, 2 are better than 1. If one of them falls down, the other can help one up. Isolation, as I said, is one of the enemy's oldest tactics. He wants you to feel disconnected from community. He wants you to feel alone. He wants you to feel discouraged. He wants you to feel burned out. Godly friends will provide you with perspective. They'll provide you with strength. They'll provide you with a spiritual covering. When you fall down, imagine what a gift it is to have a friend there to lift you back up. Proverbs 27:9 says, perfume and incense bring joy to the heart, and the pleasantness of a friend springs from their heartfelt advice. I love the opportunity that I have to speak into somebody else's life. I love the opportunity that my friends have to speak into my life. It's earned. It's a gift. And so that didn't happen on day one. I don't meet a stranger on the street and give them permission to speak into my heart, speak into my life. But my friends, we've given each other permission to refresh each other, to speak truth to each other, to mirror the joy of our relationship with God. And so Jesus is my best friend. He's your best friend too. You need community. You need community. And so I think that Jesus also sets this great example. And as he invites himself in to have fellowship with us, he's also inviting us to have fellowship with others. So if spiritual friendship is something that you have in your life, thank God for it, treasure it, nurture it, keep it in place. If godly friendship is something that you feel like you're lacking, I pray that you would take opportunities to make the investment. Just like I said in the blog this week, I don't want to repeat that, but it was easier when we were children. It was easier when you were on the same school bus with somebody every single day, or in the same class with somebody every single day, sitting at the same lunch table with somebody every single day. As adults, we really don't have that. We've got to create those opportunities. And sometimes that requires putting yourself out there. But if you're brave enough, pray for boldness and pray for bravery to put yourself out there, to make new friends and form those godly relationships, you will be blessed. And just on a personal note, to those of you who have stayed with me through my transition, you are a gift to me. I'm so grateful to the Lord for you. Words just cannot express. So, sister, friend, join me again on the podcast and make a connection this week with somebody in your community. Reach out and let's start planting the seeds of godly spiritual friendship, and you surely will be blessed. Thanks again for joining me on the Connect podcast, and I'm looking forward to connecting with you again soon.